Exactly.
This is the first time he's ever done that.
Okay. Now we're on. Now I got to go back to here and start over. Oh my goodness. This is the word.
Everybody goes and redoes it anyhow, so.
Well, good evening,
yeah, we got it.
Good evening, everybody. That was take two. Yeah, now we can see who's watching, and there's only one person watching.
I think it's just me.
I was going to say it could be us. We might not have anybody on tonight.
Nope, there's two.
That could be me.
Are you on too?
I shared it.
Oh.
So I don't know if I'm technically on because I don't have my phone open.
I could be on too.
Yeah.
Bump the numbers.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes a minute to get people.
Well,
on.
and I didn't advertise the show. I forgot.
Well, it was one too. We didn't really.
Kind of crazy, so we didn't know what we were doing, so it was a little crazy. So
we were all week. We were like, "What are we gonna do? I don't have anybody to have on. I don't know who to."
So it was my idea to do aha.
Yeah.
We need to do some introductions.
So speaking of that, let's go ahead and introduce the character that's in the room that no one knows.
No.
Good evening, Lisa. So this is Jerry. Jerry is a new member of Boo Productions. We're keeping him super busy with absolutely nothing has happened since we've got you in here. So
life happens. So
yep. Well, we don't. To be honest, too, we don't get a lot of calls for cases.
Not right now. It's been
weird
since a lot of the bans have lifted from COVID. We've slowed down with private cases all of a sudden. So we'll see.
So anyway, Jerry, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll start with that.
Okay. I would imagine we all have very similar backgrounds, right? We're all semi responsible adults who have
very, very loosely on that term,
decent paying jobs and living comfortably, and we can explore some of our hobbies, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been in Toledo for about 30 years now. I'm originally from the Cleveland area. Came out here to go to the UT, which everyone called TU when I got here, which was very confusing.
I say that now. My kids are like, what the hell's that place?
Yeah. So 30 years later, I'm still here. Had a couple jobs, and so as far as the paranormal goes, and it's one of those things that has always interested me, and have had a chance to explore that a little bit more lately. So
wait a minute, I'm looking at your background here. You're not a Steelers fan, are you?
No, that's
okay.
Myles Garrett trying to put the Steelers quarterback helmet back on. Yeah. He was just trying to help.
Yeah, he's being helpful. Yep. So what? I mean, okay, obviously. Well, not obviously. People don't know this, but Jerry took the last class. When that was in what, August? That you took the
I think so.
Ghost hunting class?
Yeah. I think it was August, yeah.
Yep. So, Jerry took a class, and sometimes people in the class, they stand out to you like, I think that guy's going to be a good investigator. So we wanted to kind of, snatch him up because I think he's got some skills that he brings to the table. One, he's very skeptical. I think Harold bashed you a little bit too much for being the skeptic in the class, but
I was the first person to raise my hand. I think that was part of the problem.
Yep. And he associated you with the skeptic. So any skeptic comment that was made, it was directed towards you. Jerry doesn't believe. And Jerry, the whole time, Jerry's
Isn't it funny though? I've noticed this in the class. Who does he always determine is going to be a skeptic in the class?
Usually probably middle-aged white dudes. I don't know.
It's usually the men. It's usually, and the females are always the sensitives. It's
yep. So yeah, Harold referred to him as the skeptic all the time, and then we got to talking before, and you're skeptical, which is good, but you still believe, which I think that's an important trait to have when you're a paranormal investigator. Is you got to assume first and foremost that it's not paranormal, it's something else. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Is that kind of how you think? I mean, because you basically told me too that like you believe, but you've never really had experiences. So
Yeah, I definitely believe. I like everyone else. I've watched a lot of the shows. I still watch a lot of the shows. The limited times I've been out, to explore different places or ghost hunt, so to speak. I've never experienced anything.
Right.
My daughter and I experienced one thing at Collingwood that we can probably talk about a little bit later. Whether it's something real or not, who knows?
Where was that at? What part of Collingwood?
It was in the, the half circle rooms, like where the piano is.
Yep.
And there's the room where you had supposedly I always say that's where the nuns did their little workshop, the craft area.
Yep.
It was in that room. So,
okay.
And again, with everything going on in that room, with all the smells and the chemicals and the paint and all that, so I can easily explain away what we experienced. But at the same time,
what did you experience?
Cool. So and I think even when we've been, like I went to the spaghetti warehouse a couple weeks ago with one of those other groups, Al Luna's group, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think contamination is just such a huge deal, right? You got these huge groups. And I like the way that they handled it at Spaghetti Warehouse, because they tried to break people up into specific groups, and each group stayed on a certain level.
Yeah.
But you still had noise contamination, right? Going from one level to the other. We experienced that at the haunted main school in Bowling Green. A couple months ago.
Yep.
So you're always going to have that contamination. And with Collingwood, they when they used to do the ghost hunts a couple of years ago, they would just let everyone go, right? So you'd have someone trying to do like a EVP session or something, and then you hear people walking down the hallway talking really loud. So it's always an issue.
Yep.
So really, again, the issue that we had a couple playing around with the thing that measures the electromagnetic
EMF meter, the Mel meter.
So we had some hits in that in the basement, that corner where everyone talks about things happen.
The dead room.
Yeah. And
Shelly's got some stories about that place.
And so my daughter and I, we were up in that craft room. We sat down, and again, it's totally explainable, but we both got really congested. We both got really congested, like our noses were running, and it felt like we just felt really congested and very, we felt that heavy energy.
Yeah.
And then we left to go to the bathroom and, to, blow our noses, wherever. It totally went away. It was gone. So again, it was probably just that room. But it was still a pretty cool experience.
And if it happened to both of you at the same time, I mean,
yes, it did.
Here again, I'm talking about how important it is to be skeptical and not think everything's paranormal. And I'm going to talk you into the fact that you had a paranormal
because I know where he's talking about, and I remember that area because I didn't go in that room, but right out like in that area, I remember that's an area that I felt odd in that area, so. It could be.
Sorry, just going to say, everybody watching, go ahead and say hello or something. I mean, I've seen people say hello already, but it looks like
we're only down to one person. So I don't know what's going on with her.
So I don't know if people are watching or not, or
if people backed out.
Well, after your previous 2 weeks of guests, it's
but we didn't advertise this one.
Everybody, everybody loves Dan and Carmen. Or
Dan and Carmen.
I mean, they do love
Carmen,
but everybody loves the medium topic. It's. You know what I'm saying? And so anytime you have mediums on, it's, Adam is always a popular guest. Carmen's always a popular guest. In fact, you said, you took the class, and that was actually one of your favorite parts of the class was the medium stuff, correct?
Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, I think that there's so much room for a medium to be totally bogus and bull crap, for lack of a better word, that it's always been something I've been not really skeptical, just doubtful. I wouldn't even say skeptical.
Yep.
And I after taking the class, and when Carmen and was it Adam? When they both did their presentations and answered the questions, it gave me a new insight, and I took a lot out of it. I thought that a lot of the stuff that they were saying made sense.
Yeah.
My biggest issue with mediums is just, and maybe it's just because I'm not one. I don't feel like I have that. I've tapped into that part of me that everyone says that everyone has it, right? But it's almost like sometimes they talk with too much confidence. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's almost like they can say that. It's almost like I feel like you should say, I believe this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Or I believe this is what someone's saying to me.
Yep.
Then you have some people say, well, this is definitely what I'm being told. It just seems like it's a dynamic that I think sometimes it's very concrete. So, and again, Dana and I, I'd love to talk to you about certain things going forward as we have more time to talk. But
well, personally too, like I think, like a medium in an investigation, I don't know that, at least right off the bat, they shouldn't open their mouth.
No.
Like when you go first meet a client, I don't think a medium should say a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Because, even Chris McKinnell, who we had on from the Warren Legacy Foundation, he said his grandma, who obviously was one of the best mediums in the country, was only right 70% of the time. And that's a fantastic rate for a medium, is 7 out of 10 things you're right. So I mean, let's say you're high average 60% right, and you go tell a client that we had a case recently where somebody who claimed to be a medium told a client that there was a black shadow figure watching her sleep every night. So she, I don't know if she's changed since then, but for the longest time they did not sleep in their bed because she had it in her mind that she'd never seen it. Never heard it. She said one time it felt like something crawled into bed with her, but in her mind, there was a black shadow figure watching over her sleep every night because a medium told her. So, the mediums really, and that's what I like about Adam and Carmen. They know that. They know to be careful.
Well, and like with Carmen and I, when we're at investigations together, we basically don't say anything, but Carmen and I communicate together without even having to communicate. We just kind of look, we have the look, we just can look at each other and we know what the other one's thinking. And usually, weirdly enough, now it's funny if like we're in the same room, then we'll go back after everybody's out and then we'll go back and we'll be like, and we'll confirm everything, but we won't say it to the group until they want us to say it to the group. Now, when we do private investigations, though, in homes, though, I think for us, I do it a little different. Like I will because we don't have as much time. I'm like, I just don't get a good feeling here. But we have more time to research afterwards and that. And then, so it's a little bit different doing that. But when we do an investigation, like at a bigger place than that, it's a lot.
Hang on 1 second. Okay.
What?
So here's why we got no fucking viewers.
Why?
We might have to start the show over.
Why?
It says Regal Entertainment Inc. blocked your video because it may contain content that they own.
The song?
That's my brother's song. He wrote it and gave me permission to use it.
Are you
so kidding? You know what? Let's shut this one down and we'll just start up a new one because that pisses me off. I don't know what.
Regal Entertainment.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at them.
Yeah, because that's your brother's.
And it's not a YouTube strike; it's a Facebook strike. So hang on, we're gonna end this and start over. So I'm gonna have to send you another invite. Sorry about that. This is the first time that this has ever happened.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna play the song. We'll just.